I'm back for part 2 of my holiday stream. Sorry about cutting out on my Chaos deck. It's just disheartening going up against a Nicobolas deck and kind of getting trounced by it at 1 life. So I went in and modified my Ashvale Knights deck. Before I start playing it, I want to talk about my shoutouts, as always. Want to thank my wife for always supporting me and telling me that I should keep going and keep doing what I enjoy. And I owe a lot to her for it. And then, of course, I want to thank the guys, Zach and Ryan at Commander Social, for always telling me to keep going and we'll get there eventually. And then, of course, Mana Curves for kind of being the inspiration for me to actually stream. So, part 2 of the deck will be me playing my Ashvale Knights deck. I went in and actually kind of modified it a little bit. Of course, Sir Gwen is my leader. Vigilance Menace. Whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card, lose 1 life. Equipment you control has equipped Knight 0. So that's pretty useful. It's got a good draw engine. So hopefully that will be somewhat competitive. I did recently get my hands on the Knight's Charge deck, so I'm pretty happy about that. So for my 1-drops, which if you look at the stats, they're not very many. It's mostly 2 and 3 drops. I try to stay in that range when I try to become somewhat competitive. I'm running 23 creatures, only 2 instances. I feel like that's the weak spot for the deck, so I'll try to work on that a little bit. 7 artifacts, of course. Most of them are equipment. 2 enchantments, 1 planeswalker, and 24 lands. 1-drops, I have my Venerable Knight. Whenever it dies, another knight gets +1/+1 counter. It's a 2/1 for 1. My Fulmire Knight, 1-drop. Venture, I draw a card, lose a life. It's a 1/1 for Death Touch. Not too bad. My Knight of the Ebon Legion, 1-drop. It's a 1/2 Vampire Knight. For 3 mana, it gets bigger, gets Death Touch, and then if someone loses 4 or more life, and it doesn't have to necessarily be my opponent, it could also be me, gets a +1/+1 counter. The Fever Champion, First Strike Haste, it's a 1-drop. Whenever it attacks, another knight gets +1/+0, and equipped abilities that target it cost 3 less. So this can get really big without Sir Gwen on the field, and that's why I'm running it. Plus, it's also a haste. Gideon's Sacrifice pretty much prevents all damage being dealt to Sir Gwen, and I can protect Sir Gwen. That's all that's in here for is protection, and it sends it to another permanent. Colossal Hammer, 10/10 for 1 mana. Not too bad. With Sir Gwen on the field, things can get big very fast. For my 2-drops, Worthy Knight creates a 1/1 human creature token anytime I cast a knight. Well, all my creatures are knights, so I get to pump out a lot of humans. Youthful Knight, 2/1 first strike for 2. Wasn't in the deck originally, but being a 2/1 with first strike, I felt I needed to put it in there. Blacklance Paragon, 2 mana for a 3/1 with Flash, and it gives another knight when it enters the battlefield Death Touch and Lifelink. So a pretty good defender. Overall, might be able to trade 3 cards for, or even 4 cards. So not too bad. Smin Swordmaster, pretty much in here for the life gain and life loss for each knight, the adventure. The 2/1 and Lifelink's not too bad, but definitely the Curry Favor is in here. Corpse Knight, interesting story. The Knight's Charge deck that I bought actually had the misprint one of this, which is a 2/3 instead of a 2/2. So maybe in the future I might give that away. But whenever another creature enters the battlefield under my control, each opponent loses 1 life. That also includes tokens. So, not too bad to have. Wintermoor Commander, Death Touch, toughness is equal to the number of knights you control, which I believe the paper card, instead of being a 2/0, is a 2-star. So that's interesting that it's a 2/0 on here. Whenever it attacks another creature, another knight I control becomes indestructible. So mostly in here for protection. Stormfist Crusader. At the beginning of my upkeep, each player draws a card and loses 1 life. Pretty much in here just for the draw. Most people probably won't target it just so they can get the draw out of it. They might. Inspiring Veteran gives all my knights +1/+1 for 2 mana. It's 2/2. Sky Knight Vanguard, flying. Whenever it attacks, I created 1/1 white soldier token, tapped and attacking. So again, with the producing tokens sub-theme here, Glass Slipper, Haste, that's literally all it's in here for. The +1/+0 is nice, but it's mostly in here for the haste. Steel Claw Lance gives the equipped creature +2/+2 for 2, and we're not even going to worry about the normal equip because all my creatures are knights. Arcane Signet because, well, it's Brawl, Arcane Signet. My 3-drops, Acclaimed Contender. I played this card once before. I don't remember what deck I was playing, but I didn't realize that you needed another knight on the field to actually search your top 4 or 5 cards for a knight, aura, equipment, or a legendary artifact card. I didn't know that. So, yeah, I misplayed it, and I believe it's on one of my streams. Bale of the Brawl. Well, for starters, the Brawl. Gotta have that. 3 mana for 3/2. Menace. Whenever Bella of the Brawl attacks, other knights, so all my knights, get +1/+0 other than her. Murderous Rider, pretty much in here for removal, since I don't have a lot of removal in here. Lifelink and return it to the bottom of the deck whenever it dies, and it's a 2/3 for 3. Sky Knight Legionnaire, 3 mana for 2/2, flying and haste. Menace of the Valiant, 3 mana. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each charge counter on the mace, and has vigilance. And whenever a creature enters the battlefield under my control, put a charge counter. So this can make my creatures big, fast, especially with the token sub-theme. Knight's Charge, in here pretty much because it's a Knight tribal deck. And Knight's Charge, whenever a Knight attacks, each opponent loses 1 life, I gain 1 life. So, easy drain, and it's for per Knight, not just 1 Knight. So if I attack with 5 Knights, they lose 5 life, I gain 1 life. Or 5 life. Bedevil, destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. In my previous part of this episode, which you guys can watch on YouTube or watch earlier before this, comes pretty in handy, especially when you're going up against a Nicol Bolas deck. And I've noticed that there's a lot of Nicol Bolas decks running around. Chromantic Lantern, pretty much in here, so for mana fixing, definitely need that. 4 drops, I run Palon Patrol, Flying Vigilance, and Mentor. It's mostly in here for the flying, because I don't have a lot of flyers. Fireborn Knight, Double Strike. It's got 4 hybrid mana, 2/3, and it gets bigger for 4 mana. In here mostly for the Double Strike, since there's not a lot of equipment yet. Having creatures that have static effects already are pretty nice. True Fire Captain, 2 red, 2 white, 4/3 Mentor, and the reason why True Fire is in here is whenever True Fire is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target player. So it's in here pretty much so someone tries to kill it for 3, they're getting 3 to the face. Smothering Tides, well, Smothering Tides. That card doesn't need much of a introduction, and then my 5-drops, I have Sir Conrad the Grim. You saw him almost win me the last match. Whenever a creature dies or is put in the graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature leaves the graveyard, Sir Gwen does 1 damage to each opponent, and for 2 you can mill the top card of everybody's library. Burning Yard Trainer, trample haste. When he enters the battlefield, another target knight gains +2/+2 and trample and haste. Not too bad. And then for my 6-drops, I have Silverwing Squadron. I can't talk. Flying Vigilance. Its power and toughness are equal to all creatures I control. And whenever it attacks, I create a number of 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the number of opponents I have. Being on Arena, it's not going to be as good, but in paper, it's not too bad, seeing how typically you'll get 3 knights out of this 1 card every time it attacks. Embercleave. It's mostly in here because it does give my creature double strike and trample, and +1/+1. It's not really in here for the combat trick that everyone's been playing it for, but who knows? It might be. Ugin, because, well, Ugin, that -3 ability is amazing. I would run Meteor Golem in this deck, but I have no clue what to take out right now, so we'll see how that goes. Silverwing's Squadron is kind of on the chopping block for my Meteor Golem. As of right now, I don't know what else I could take out. I would take out Burning Yard Trainer, but it gives them haste. So, True Fire Captain's also another one that I'm considering. And then, of course, my mana base, 7 plains, 5 swamps, 5 mountains, Godless Shrine, Blood Crypt, Sacred Foundry, Tournament Grounds, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, and Fabled Passage. And this is my Knights of Ashvale. Or Ashvale Knights. Why won't you let me pick Submit? Submit. There we go. And the first deck I'm going up against is a token deck. So, not the best first hand, so we're going to do the free mulligan. Still not much better. Let's mulligan one more time. And that mulligan is good. True Fire, however, you must go away. Command Tower first. I don't understand why. It might just be my brain not being able to comprehend it, but why play Reese before you have 3 mana to tap it? Even in my Reese video, I learned that lesson. You don't play it until you have the mana to use its ability. Target opponent. I feel like I was supposed to pick what card. Why didn't it let me pick the card? Am I wrong? I should have attacked you. You don't have any combat tricks. One, two, three. So I still need 2 more mana. That's not the 2 mana I need. So I guess I will take you off, put you on you. You have to attack with at least 2 other creatures. I don't know why you're pulling back. Must have it. Nope. There's that, so I should be able to play you. I'm just going to attack. Shoot, I might not even get Cirque went out. Exile target creature, so it has to be my Inspiring Knight. That's a shame. What is that? Target creature can't block. Okay. So I can live with that. If only I had Fling in the stack. Somebody. I did all the things. Someone sent me a message on Twitter. What they just put on me? As Defender, really? Wasn't actually meant for me.
We are but motes in a vast multiverse.
Plus 3. This. I know, strange. I'm getting rid of the thing that makes my creature a defender. And it's only if it is equipped. Oh, they're gonna do the timer scheme. Yep, they're gonna run the timer out. Well, I guess now it. Oh,
Your past is unwritten.
I'm just gonna attack with you. Nice. Are they gonna let it go through, or are they gonna actually block? Sad face. Well, I still have Ugin out, and Pinter's tapped. Play you. Pump you up.
Secrets
Play you.
manifest before you.
Okay. Oh. Well, this was a nice little
The fabric of the multiverse
game.
sways me.
Well, it's time to go hang out with my family again. The father-in-law's in town, so we're gonna go play pool with him and the brother-in-law. I'm definitely gonna play this deck more. I really did enjoy it. If you guys have anything that I should add to the deck, definitely let me know on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of which you can find me as Card Tyrant or JC Davison. I post there often, and of course, I'm on Tapped Out. I'll probably post this deck on Tapped Out within the next few days. And if you guys have any suggestions on how to improve the deck to make it better, let me know. And thank you guys, and have a wonderful day.